Let's start off our day with something wonderful or hear a story about someone being marvelous. Let's make today Wonderlous. This is the show that gives you a daily dose of happy, uplifting, feel-good stories from around the world. Welcome to another episode of Wonderlous News. I'm Hoyt Christopher. Let's get right to it. So our first segment is First Responders Rescue an Elderly Man, 2 dogs from an SUV. So this is in Florida, and several first responders from Florida are being credited for saving this elderly man and his 2 dogs from a sinking SUV. So Police Sergeant Chris Burnham and Officer Brian Snyder arrived on the scene and immediately jumped into the water. Snyder reached the driver's side door, broke the window with one of those fancy tools, and then also ended up cutting the seatbelt. The driver, the older elderly man, was conscious but unresponsive, so he's a little out of it. And they pulled him out, pulled the 2 dogs out, and saved the day. So, look, these are wonderful stories because this man and his 2 dogs were saved. If you want to see the picture, go to the description in the show. It's incredible. The SUV was just going down, down, down. But these first responders helped save the day, saved 2 dogs and an elderly man, and we love it. Bring it on. All right, next segment. Even with a closed adoption, this woman finds her birth mother in an emotional reunion. Okay, so this is interesting. This woman, she's 34 years old, and she's adopted. She knew she was adopted. Her parents were open about that. No big deal. So it wasn't about her trying to find her birth mom and discovering that she was not adopted, discovering that she was adopted and that it was a big, false thing. But no, she decided to make a video. She said, I finally reunited with my birth mom after 34 years. She made this video for TikTok. It went viral and has almost 4 million views. And what she says is, I quote, my adoption was closed, and I've been trying to find her for over 10 years with failed attempt after failed attempt. My parents were open about telling me about it, like I mentioned, so it wasn't about that. But all she had to work on was a physical description, and it looks like education level of her mother and some hobbies that she enjoyed. Well, she went through the process and she ended up finding her mom, and she realized that her mom grew up not that far from her. You can see the picture on there, and her mom and her biological mom and her look pretty similar. But weird. It's like you wonder about this, right? So her mom gave her up for adoption. She clearly wasn't ready to have a kid. She carried her through, and then this young woman grows up. She has a wonderful adopted parents, but something about wanting to connect with your birth parents really drove her to find her. I guess for me, what I'm wondering is, how does that make the parents feel, the adopted parents, right? Like, hey, your mom, for all the right reasons, I guess, she just knew she couldn't take care of you. She was in a bad situation, maybe. What's the draw? What's bringing you to do this search and looking for her for 10 years? I mean, it seems like it's a really frantic search. Like, I have to find my birth mother. I just wonder about that. Maybe some of you out there have a similar story. Let us know. But, look, happy reunion. We always love that here at Wonderless News, and we can move on from that. So now it's time for the Wonderless Moment of the Day, brought to you by Rise by Shaman Angelina. And this video by Shaman Angelina, who, by the way, has a fantastic Etsy store with incredible handmade jewelry. So check it out. The link to her store on Etsy is in the description of the show. So if you're watching on YouTube, check it out. If you're listening on the podcast, whether it's Spotify or any of the other platforms that Wonderless News can be found, go into the description when you have a chance and you can find her store. Check out her stuff. It's incredible. But here's the moment. And this is an explosion of colors with some really cool music. So check this out. mind-blowing colors and some cool music, something to take us out of the moment for a day. So thank you, Rise by Shaman Angelina. And now it's time for the next segment. We have 3D printed hotel is striking, and it really is. You got to check out those pictures, and will turn heads with its design for a Texas location. So 3D printing of products is really becoming more and more popular. Now, this company, so this design company in Sweden, along with a Texas, Austin-based 3D printing company, Icon, has joined together to help make this design by a famous architect from Sweden come alive for this future 62-acre remote hotel, which will have an infinity pool, an art exhibition hall, outdoor bathhouse, and outdoor kitchen. It's all designed very modern in the desert. I mean, imagine 62 acres surrounded by, desert and, the lights at night, everything. So the whole design of the hotel, from what I understand, is so you can really see the night sky at night, the stars, and just really enjoy your surroundings. What I find interesting is that it's 3D printing, right? So they're making all of the components there. The building materials are going to the printer, and they make it so it's got, some of the structures are round. It's just looking at the pictures when you check it out is really incredible. But just wondering, I mean, this is a huge undertaking. It doesn't say when it will be available, but sort of with what we see with Airbnbs and VRBOs, and now kind of going beyond the hotel, really, and finding secluded areas in different parts of the country, different parts of states like Texas, to really enjoy the outdoor atmosphere, but at the same time have those luxuries, kind of glamping, right? This is really pretty incredible. And then the technology, I mean, the 3D printing technology. What else can we make with 3D printing? But these guys are doing a fantastic job, and it'd be a really cool place to check out and go vacation at someday when it's ready. So thanks for that. And then we got our Wonderlous thought, right? What are we going to talk about? Well, let's talk about not 3D printing, but let's talk about remote hotels, because I think there's something there. And let's even add to that, not just remote hotels, but how about remote Airbnbs, right? Remote houses. There's a whole category on a lot of these sites where you can find individuals that own property that put like a tiny home on it, a really cool trailer. They've got ones that have yurts and stuff like that. So it's becoming more and more popular. That was really just set up for camping, right? If you wanted to go somewhere remote, you'd have to go camping. But now if you have like a couple hundred acres in the middle of nowhere, and you have enough luxuries on site, like I said, a tiny home or a yurt, you have bathroom, showers, all that, some sort of, ability for electricity and plumbing, you can pretty much rent that space out anytime. So you've got these remote hotels, remote places to stay. I think it's really opening our eyes to what the future looks like, where everything was really focused around the city, and then you had the suburbs, and urban areas, suburbs, and you just kind of went out from there. Now there's these possibilities where obviously traveling with a car, maybe the future is a flying car or one of those sport planes, but now you can go almost anywhere and really enjoy the wilderness, really enjoy what we have to offer in this country and around the world, to see different places and experience different things more remotely. I think we're going to see more of this, and I that's a good thing. I think it opens our eyes to different possibilities. And imagine taking your family, your kids, to explore places like this. And this hotel in Texas sounds like it's going to be amazing. We don't know what the prices are going to be. We don't know what access is. It's a really in the beginning stages. But look to the future and see more possibilities for those remote places to stay, whether it's hotels or houses. And I think there's something there. So listen, if you have a story that you want to tell us here, please send it to me at wonderlessnews@gmail.com. I'll talk about it here on the show. Send me pictures, send me, your name or not. It's up to you. And we'll have fun getting some outside perspective on some new Wonderlous news stories. I mean, I'm finding these on different news platforms. All of those links to those news stories are in the descriptions of the show. So feel free to check those out, see the pictures and videos if they offer them from the stuff that we talk about here on the show. But look, thanks again for watching and listening. I'm Hoyt Christopher. This is Wonderless News, and I will see you tomorrow.